Good afternoon, everybody. Abbey and myself are going to be doing a journey for Tambra to go to a higher self and to her spirit guides to see what messages they have for her. I'm just going to again breathe in my nose and out my mouth and relax. Always do this to relax the mind, the body, to allow all the worries of the day to fade away. To realign the body and the energy. Quiet the mind and the soul. I see a man or a sound of a person hammering on a anvil. It's like kind of like a blacksmith back, 500 or 600 years ago, 1,000 years ago. And it's a man. He puts his hammer up really high in the air and slams it into the anvil and the hot metal. He takes up, looks like a cross actually, and puts it into the actual hot water, and steam forms from it. He turns it over to me and he throws it to me, and I catch it in my hand. It's a cross that it's a plus sign, and it's full of ruins. And it basically catches on fire, and the ruins glow really bright. It doesn't burn me, it's like a golden flame. It's not like a burning flame. So I'm holding this. It's interesting because the inscriptions on the cross itself become really, really bright. And they go from the bottom of the cross downward to the ground. And it creates a doorway. And I actually throw the cross back to the blacksmith, and he catches it and smiles at me. And it created a doorway down into the earth. Then he goes back to doing his work, and he fades away. So I walk down into the earth. It's a very wide doorway. It's made of stone. Very sturdy stone material. It's not like limestone or something. It's like more like granite. Very solid rock. We walk down into and the further I go down, the more polished the stone becomes, so it's actually like polished granite, like marble. And I walk down, and it actually changes from a darker color from the surface to a lighter color the farther you go down, so it's almost pure white. And I walk into a really ornate room, and there's a table in the center, and there's a really like a deep discussion happening at this table. They turn towards me and invite me to sit down. I sit down, and they continue the talk. And they start, a few of them are whispering while other ones are not. The ones that are whispering keep looking over at me and going back to whispering. One of them stands up and says something to the people that are whispering, that it's rude to whisper when we have a guest, especially when you're talking about the guest. And they actually stand up from the table and they say they're sorry and they sit back down again. The man that's standing up smiles at me and he points to the wall, which this room is like a beautiful ornate room of looks like almost solid marble. And he points to the wall and there's a movement, it's like a clock going click, 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 click. But it's solid and it's like it is moving, like the whole wall itself is like a circular cutout and it's just turning like this and it has numbers on it. But it's more like runes, not specific numbers. Each rune has a meaning and it stops at a specific rune and it glows really bright and it creates like a light on the floor. And there's a lot of energy happening between, like it's like a pillar of light that comes down from the rune itself, but it also comes from above. And there's a lot of smoky type material and it's spinning upward. And it kind of explodes and of light, like it's a little explosion of light. And there's a man standing there. He has like, kind of like balloon pants on, like he's like a jester or something. He's got the jester hat and he starts jumping around and smiling and happy and everybody's laughing and he really makes everybody feel good. And nobody ever puts him down because this man is just here to make people smile and make people happy. And he notices this, like he comes up to me because he knows that I'm new here. I haven't been in this room before that he knows of. And he gives me something. It's a rose. And it squirts water in my face, but it's not meant to be laughable and everybody laughs. But it's not insulting. It was just funny, like it was a funny thing. And I smile back at him and I give him back the rose. And this time I put water in his face and he just laughs and puts the rose away. But he goes, seriously, and he gives you, he goes behind my ear and pulls out a rose. And Tamara, I'm you in this journey, just to let you know, so it's not confusing. And he gives you a rose. And now I take a step back as I acknowledge that. And I watch it from a distance, and he gives you a rose, and he smiles at you and says that you need to find the joker within yourself, the person that makes you, to make people not take life so seriously, be more open and happier about things. And when things happen, like if you get a rose, somebody puts a prank and sprays you in the face with water, and it's meant to be funny, it's not meant to be insulting, that you need to laugh about it and not take it so personally. And he's just like super happy, and he just kind of goes off and just does his jumps and flips and does tricks, and he does that for a good while, and everybody is in a really good mood when he leaves. And the clock goes again, click, and again another thing happens, and this time everybody stands up, and there's a lot of stuff happening here, and literally the table is pushed aside and everybody forms a circle around this specific thing that is happening, and the ground opens up and a hand comes up out of the ground, but it's like a really large hand, but then as it spins upward it moves down to a normal size, and there's a woman standing there, a very ornate dress, and it's like gold leaf, like literally leaves, like leaves on this, like a sheer dress at the bottom, and there's like golden leaves on it. And it's this dress is super, super ornate, and it has a lot of nature stuff that's on it, nature designs in gold leaf. And her dress is white, very, very elegant, very well designed, very intricate with gold inlays all through it. And she even has flowers in her hair. And she looks over at you, Tambra, and smiles. And she kind of just sits there and smiles at you for a while. She walks over to you and she takes your hand and she looks at your hand and she turns it this way, flips your hand over, flips it back, and she takes away any marks that were left. It's your left hand from your relationship, and she just moves it around like this and smiles and rubs your left finger and just does this for a while and just rubs your hand with her hand, and she just smiles. It's like she knows that you are free, and she's happy about this, and she's quite ecstatic, and she says, you have a lot of things that will be happening in your life, and you'll grow so much in the next year. And she goes behind your ear and she pulls out a diamond, and she takes that diamond, she places it in the palm of your hand like this, and she closes your hand like this and says, that diamond is basically the reward for all the hard work that you've done. And that diamond will be paying something, giving something to you for the rest of your life. And she kind of snaps her fingers, and you're surrounded by all this, like there's lots, so like it's like a whole whack of gold. And you kind of, you sit down in a chair that appears, and all this gold is all around you, but it's not necessarily huge amounts of wealth. It's the generosity of life that's going to come to you. A lot of very, very positive things in your life are going to happen. Things that once were a burden are now free, and now you're going to have a lot of really positive things coming into your life. And she's going to be with you and stand beside you when this happens. And she's going to be so happy to watch all these beautiful things to come into your life. And you go to stand up and you can't. And she just says, she purposely bound your hands on this just to try to show you a point. She said, at some point you have to learn to balance your life. Don't let work overcome everything, because there has to be a balance. And you get really upset that you're bound, and she just does it for a split second. You go to move again, the bounds are gone. She says, at times you need to not necessarily bound yourself, but slow down in life. Take the time. Even when you think you're busy, you always have more time than you realize to take the time, slow down, and experience life a little in detail. And don't let it fly by so quickly that you forget why you're actually here. There's always time to explore. There's always time to explore everything about your life, and about spirituality, about love, about nature, about yourself, about your heart, about everything that's happened. Sometimes take the time, slow everything right down, even when you're busy, even if it's for a moment. Slowing things down will open your heart and continue to open your heart to more and beautiful experiences. She walks around you and she's creating like a line of energy of gold ring around you, and she keeps walking and walking, and all the gold that's there starts to come up like a vortex, and she creates this wall of gold. And it's energy though, it's not solid. And she brings that in a sense, it all goes into your heart, every bit of it. And the diamond itself also goes into your heart. There's a gateway inside your heart. Are you aware of that? She says. That gateway will take you to the spirit realm, will take you and allow pure love to come and go into your heart at any time, to allow yourself to experience love at the highest levels. And the diamond will focus that love to any part of your body, any part at all, and to any individual, to anything. It's like your heart can amplify energy at the levels that you never thought possible. And sometimes we need to be shown through instruments how much we can amplify that energy. And the heart, your heart is glowing really bright, and the diamond is there, and when your heart, the love of your heart hits the diamond, it puts a really focused line of light directly ahead. And the man that was stood up, which was kind of like the leader of this place, takes that and he grabs it, like puts his hand up and it hits the palm of his hand, and his hand starts to glow extremely bright. And it also creates his heart to grow really bright. And then he puts his hand, he touches all the people in this room, and every single one of us hold our hands up, and we all grow extremely bright, and our hearts just start to glow. And he said, this is the type of energy that you can pass to the world. Energy of love and light through your heart can be expanded out to every single person on this earth. And one person gets it and it passes the light on to another, and to another, and to another, and to another. And you see the light does not dim. It doesn't get weaker as it's passed on. It stays exactly as bright as you send it out. Now, if I take the diamond away, your heart isn't any less bright. It's that sometimes when we're learning, it is okay to use things like diamonds to really focus the energy, to help us remember that the light inside ourselves is perfectly bright and never dims. It's okay to use crystals, to use anything you need in order to allow yourself to learn and grow in understanding. She has a golden flower in her hand that she turns to a white color, and she places that in behind your ear, and it's like a beautiful white rose. And it actually creates smaller roses that go into your hair. And there's a love of nature inside you that you are not aware of. This woman is your higher self, and she's wanting you to truly experience the love of nature inside your heart. And that will really open your heart up, and much more than you thought. It's like nature is part of who you are. It is inbred inside your soul, and she's asking you to experience the smell of roses, the smell of flowers, the smell of nature in general, the smell of the grass. Watch the butterflies, the bees, the insects. You have a connection to nature that will open up your heart in ways you not thought possible. She goes, you are more than you think, she says. You are much more than you think. And she takes her hand and goes like this, and it creates a walkway that goes straight up into the sky. We walk right out of the room that we're in. We walk through the ground, up into the air, into the sky. And we walk way, 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 way up, and we look down. We're standing in the clouds. And we look down, and you jump from the cloud, and you just kind of spin like this and open your arms, and there's like a huge burst of light that appears, and you have these massive wings that appear in your back. And you just glide over the valleys, and you can see like an eagle. You can see this so sharp of everything that is happening. Like this, even being this high, you can see a frog that's jumping on the side of a pond, jumping into the pond. You can see the actual lily pads, the lilies, the dragonflies, at such detail even from this height. You become an eagle. You become a golden eagle with a huge wingspan. And you fly and you glide and you just experience the joy of flight. And you see the prey that is below and the hunger of what a gold eagle would want to do. But you resist that. You resist the urge of going and hunting. But it is okay to hunt when you're a golden eagle. It is okay to experience that type of energy. So you fly down and there's a white rabbit, and you hesitate and you do not do it. You don't actually grab the bunny rabbit, but you still have the urge of hunger that overwhelms you. But you also have the choice, because you know you're not an eagle. You're just a spirit. And that choice is important, because you do not need to hunt, even if you have the urge to do so. You have the ability to say no. So you say no to killing a white rabbit, and a white rabbit turns into a young woman, and she smiles at you, and she says, not everyone can resist the urge to hunt when they become an eagle, she says. And you turn back into yourself, and she walks over to you, and again, she turns back into your higher self again. You have the strength, more so inside yourself than you ever thought possible. And I keep saying this to you because it is true. You limit yourself, but there is no limitations. You took the time out to become an eagle, to experience what it is to be an eagle, even the urge inside the eagle itself to hunt. But you know, and deep down inside, that you weren't an eagle, so you never hunted. You're standing on the actual shore of a beach, and you can see there is a seal, a white seal, that is swimming in the ocean. And you dive into the ocean, and you're swimming and you become the killer whale, and you see the white seal very, very, very clearly. And you swim up to the seal, and you actually take the seal and you flip it on its back, and you take it away from all the other killer whales to a safe place, and you turn back into yourself and you walk up on it's like a little island, and you go onto the island, and the seal turns into again your higher self. And she's saying it's so wonderful to experience the different animals and the urges and it's just like the basic instinct and the joys of being that animal, the way it feels. But it's also the choices that we make. If you choose to follow your heart, you will always go down the right path. Even if that path can be difficult. You see the killer whale and the eagle in the sky. And do you see yourself as either one of these animals? Do you see yourself as a killer whale, or do you see yourself as an eagle? They are both instinct. They are both instinct to kill, to survive. One is in the water and one is in the sky. They are both animals of prey. So which one are you? You choose the golden eagle, but you also choose the killer whale. Because the oceans and the sky are two different things. And so when I'm in the ocean, I am the killer whale. When I'm in the sky, I'm in the eagle. And so what about land? I ask you. What do you see when you're on the land? I see a beautiful white fox that appears. Do you see yourself as a fox? Fox with a beautiful fluffy tail. Very smart, very keen. That's what I see. That's what I feel within my heart. And that's what you are feeling within your heart. Because you are with me. So which one of these do you think is more important than the other one? You look at all three of the animals and you wonder which is more important. And you say all of them are important. And I say yes, they are. Sometimes we look at a fox and think it is not a huge prey animal. So it wouldn't be like the killer whale, and it cannot fly like the eagle, so it is inferior. But it is not. But there's three things these animals have in common, is they have to hunt to survive. That is part of your soul. It is part of your life journey. The energy of these animals flow through you, as well as nature. But it's, as a human being, we do not go and kill prey, but it's the idea It's the understanding that you look at things in a different way than some people do, because you look at things with super detail, with the understanding of why and how things work. Because these animals are very intelligent in their own way. They always figure things out and try to find the best way and the easiest way to get their meals. Every single one of them. And you need to use this in your life. But you also choose compassion, which is also important, and love and understanding is super important as well. Because without that, chaos will take over and all these animals will turn black instead of white. The Dogon eagle has a white heart. The fox is white, but the killer whale is white and black. But when you choose the light side of things, everything falls into balance. The killer whale is in balance. The fox is in balance, and the eagle is in balance. And you choose love. Which then make these animals shine through you with the most beautiful light and love. Did you ever try to fly in the sky like the eagle? Did you ever swim in the ocean like the killer whale? Have you ever ran through the forest like the fox? Did you ever feel the heartbeats of the animals, the excitement, the energy that all these animals possess? Become these animals and they'll become part of you. And they will open your heart up to things that you never thought that you could do before. Doorways will open, opportunities will happen with these animals by your side, with me by your side, as I will guide you in the whispers that they speak to you, and the whispers that I speak to you. The strength these animals will give you will help you through every aspect of your life. Will help you through many things, many challenges. Many things to come. So a lot of things quieting down now. Energy is shifting. She takes you, your higher self takes you, and she holds you close to her, and she spins and goes straight up into the universe. And we're going through the universe at very fast speeds. She's flying very, very quickly. The stars are just swooping by, like in Star Trek, going warp speed. And she actually sits back and puts her hands behind her head, puts her feet up and says, let's just experience the light for a moment. And she just relaxes, and it's just as important that you also take the time when you're traveling to relax, to not take life so seriously. When we get there, then we could take it seriously. But for now, we're traveling through the cosmos, and we are experiencing light, so allow the light to pass through you. And you see yourself, and start seeing the lights not just going past you here, but going through your mind, your body. And as it does that, you even look down to a very microscopic level, and you see that the atoms are actually, in some cases, they're just becoming energized from this. Even the collisions, small bumps and bangs into each other, it's okay, because you just it's actually energizing you. You're getting lighter and lighter and more brighter, and you're looking at yourself and you know you're glowing really, really bright. Your higher self has still got her feet up and her hands behind her head, and she's just smiling at you as she's watching you glow more and more and getting brighter and brighter. And then she puts her feet to the ground, and kind of everything slows right down. It's like you're inside of a ship, but it was really just inside of an energy bubble. And when she slows right down, the energy bubble just disappears. And you're looking at the best way to describe it is like a large nebula. It's like blue in color, giving off a lot of blue and white light. So it's like blue, a lot of blue, and there's a lot of white light here. And there's two planets that are interconnected, and there's one white and one dark. Doesn't make any sense why the other one's dark though. But they're like, it's literally like the infinity symbol, the way they're connected. And in each end of the infinity symbol is a light and dark planet, and they're spinning like this. And they're surrounded by this like mixed, it's not totally surrounded, but there's like clouds from this nebula that wisp here and there. But there's also other brighter stars that are also creating white light. But this one planet never gives off light. It doesn't itself, it absorbs all the light, but it doesn't give any off. And this other world is just always light. It has no shadow. So it's like pure white and pure dark. And the arms in between are kind of mixed. They start off white and then they switch to black. And there's like a bleed area where they bleed into one another. And I go closer to this planet, or these planets, and I look at them, and they're shiny. Both of them are shiny metallic in color. One's metallic in the sense of shiny black, and the other one's shiny white. But it's also liquidy inside. As you get closer, you can see that it's more like a milk, and the other one's just more like a black ink. And you're just looking at this, and it's like you see it within your mind spinning. This whole scene, this image of this is now processing in your own mind. She takes you to the planet of light, which is pure white. It's not really even light so much as like a milk material, but it does give off light. It's quite bright. But when you get really close, as the light starts to dim, you see it's just like white milk. And we go down into this. We go down, 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 down. And it's not really. It's more like it's not wet. It's dry. It's more like a steam. But it's very thick. It doesn't give off. There's no moisture in it. Not like you would think, anyway. So we keep going down into the space, and it's like white everywhere. But it's not super bright though. It's not like as bright as you would think. It actually gets dimmer the farther you go down because the light isn't penetrating the inside of it. I go down, and then so like there is starting to see a light now. It's not bright enough that it penetrates the outside of this, and that could be part of the problem. This light should be shining so bright that it penetrates the outside, right out to the outside of this place. Like this should be internally glowing really bright, but light is faded and dim. And she takes you to the center. It's like a crystalline material, but it's like instead of a clean glowing bright, it's like it's sizzling. It's not really glowing. It's like cutting in and out. It's like a short circuit, so to speak. It's attached to this kind of body. It's like a robot body and mind. And this thing it's like lying down, and its arms are spread out. And it's lying down on like a chair leaned back. And it's not able to move. And it's just, the mind is short-circuiting. And the rest of the body can't move because the mind just isn't functioning correctly. I take a really bright part of my heart, and I ask you to give me a part of your heart as well. And I go on the left side of this brain, and you go on the right side, and we have like rods of light that we put in the ears of this thing. And it's kind of, you see like the sparks get brighter and brighter and brighter, and it's like when the two rods touch, they start to spin, and they get pulled inside, and they spin, and it's kind of creating like it's destroying everything inside of this mind, but it's really not. But it's like there's a lot of stuff built to try to keep it going that isn't supposed to be there. So this is cleaning all this out. All these structures that were inside are collapsing because they're no longer needed. And now these rods are spinning really, 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 really fast. And the faster they spin, the brighter the mind of this thing becomes. And it's like a super, super bright light appearing, and it just kind of expands rapidly. And even the body of this thing just falls apart. And now there's like a really bright orb that's getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, and it's like creating like a very interesting humming sound. And it just, it's like it just keeps expanding more and more and more. It expands into you and myself, and it just keeps going brighter and brighter and brighter. And you walk to the center of this, and you see that it's like the part in the center is like a crystal in itself. It's like and it's just so vibrant right now. and you touch it, and there's a part of yourself that gets blown from your back, like a big chunk of energy just gets blown from your back. It's all stuff that wasn't important. You no longer needed any of that. And you come to a realization when you touch this, you actually, something changed within yourself. You became more clear in thought. You became, you know what to do now, you say. And you walk out of this thing, and what we do, the dark side now is actually spinning. What this light side is now not moving at all. And it's super, super bright, and the dark side is spinning. As it spins, it's creating electrical current between the two, and the light is creeping over into the dark. And the dark side itself is becoming brighter and brighter and brighter. And it's becoming more brighter, and it's starting to take over the actual darkness itself. It's actually taken over more and more and more of the darkness, and to the point where the darkness itself turns like super bright as well. And then when it spins, both bright lights go around and around and around and around and around, and they're spinning over around and around and around and around and around and around, and they're starting to grow, like spin super bright, and the infinity inside doesn't exist anymore, and instantly the two come together and it explodes in a very vibrant light, and is super bright, which kind of just blows this whole area up like a supernova. But that it stays bright. It stays super bright. And I go back farther and farther and farther, and I see that there's arms as well. There's like, this was the center of a much bigger object I didn't even know. And this blue nebula type material was part as well, but you couldn't really see it because it wasn't working correctly, and the pieces were not functioning, and it created this type of mess that did nothing kind of work together. And now when I expand outwards, I see this beautiful image of a woman, and she's so friggin' old. It's like she was sleeping for a very, very long time. And now she starts to wake up, and she starts to shake her head, and her heart is what this big planet was, or the two planets. And now that they're together, her heart is super bright, and she's super, super large. She is still waking up, and she's still confused, and she's not quite sure what is happening yet. She's just looking around, and she sees you, and she looks to you, and she puts her hand out, and you walk onto the palm of her hand, and she takes you up to her eyes, and her eyes itself are just like super, super. It's like going into a different dimension when you walk into the eyes. It's kind of hard to explain because you got the stars and everything is still moving and moving and moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. And it's really difficult to really see exactly what is happening in the eyes. It's just that the eyes itself are like a universe in amongst themselves. And she blows energy into you, and you breathe it in, and when you breathe it in, you start to see like almost like stars within your own body, all through your body. And she keeps blowing that, like she's blowing it into you, and she keeps doing that, and you keep breathing that in over and over and over and over again, and you get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, and you start to glow, and you start to glow brighter and brighter, and it's like you start to the kind of like lift off the ground, and she keeps blowing more energy into you, more and more and more and more and more and more energy, and you start to glow really, 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 really bright, and you glow super bright, and it's like your eyes turn like a really, really, like it's kind of like an emerald, not emerald, but a sea blue color, like the really, really bright blue. It's not teal blue. It's like a pale blue, blue color. It's really, really interesting. And you start to glow really, really, really bright, like also with the blue. You're kind of glowing like this planet was glowing, and it creates like a beautiful blue light all around you. And she just keeps blowing it over and over and over again. And it's quite interesting actually to watch this. And I'm just watching this take place. And it's like she's starting to move more, and he's starting to understand. And she actually opens a book, and the book itself is like all these different things, and she's flipping through this book, and she turns the book to you, and it shows you Earth, and she points to the Earth and to you, and how you chose to come to the Earth. And because you chose to come to the Earth, she went to sleep for a while, and now that she's awake, she's going to be able to help you more and more and more. This is the higher version of yourself that you've already seen. This is like the oldest part of who you are. And that book that she has is an ancient book that was written many. It's hard to say. Time is weird in the spirit realm. If time, time doesn't really work the same way, if it even works at all. But somehow there still is time, because we're in the physical world. But this is so bloody old, and she is so old, and she just woke up. Like this portion of herself is waking up now to help you right now to understand that you chose to come to this world a very long time ago to work with the world and the energies within it. And nature's a big part of it as well. It's really, really interesting, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to start coming towards you, and a lot of things that will help you understand who you are more, and how vast your soul is, and the connection that you have with the Earth, and the connection you have with all the souls on the Earth. It's quite interesting just to experience this. And she takes the Earth itself, and now it's in her palm of her hand, because this book is not just a book. It's like a whole nother interdimensional space on its own. So when you go into the book, you're going into an actual space. And she actually takes out the Earth, and she holds it, and she puts it on your hand, and you place that Earth inside your heart. And the question she asked you, and she's really serious when she asks you this: how much do you care about the world that you choose to come to? How much do you care about the world that you chose to come here to protect? The world you came the world that you chose to love, protect, all the things that live on it, not just the people, but the animals, the plants, the insects. How much do you love the Earth? And then she says, She takes your heart, she puts a hand on your heart, and she says, how much do you love yourself? And then she says, how much do you love the people? How much do you love the animals, the plants, the oceans? And she starts even the mountains, and she's naming the streams, and she's naming the valleys, she's naming all these things. Do you not know who you are, she says. You've forgotten who you are, and I am here to help you to remember who you are. I am here to help you remember who you are and why you came here. Because now you are free. And now you'll start to remember who and what you are, and what your true purpose is on this world, and what your true purpose is going forward, what your true purpose is a protector of this world and everything that is in it. Thank you very much. That's all that she has to say for now, Tambra. If you wish to do a service with me, you can visit my website at www.amonrosstheawakening.com. You can go and visit my Northern Light page at Joseph Bradley Auroras with an S.com. Thank you very much, everybody. And it was a very beautiful session, and it was a lot of spirit animals and an understanding of how vast our souls are, and how vast the universe is, and how beautiful we all are. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.